saying that her position within the company.
We've also, obviously, the big issue dominating discussions today is the carbon price. We've been getting a lot of emails about that, and we'll read them throughout the morning. Just one quick one that I thought was rather cute.
Yes.
From Bruce. It sure ain't no $900 cheque.
No.
This is about the compensation package, referring, of course, in that case to the stimulus.
Although they have been sent out in the past.
They have been.
A different kind of stimulus, really.
Did we like them then? I can't remember.
Depends on whether you receive one, mate.
I suppose Australia's renewable energy sector, of course, received a boost with $10 million nominated for research and development in the area. Carbon Planet works with governments and businesses around the world to identify and develop carbon offset projects. So
we've got a couple of people joining you this morning to discuss the future of renewable energy, but more to focus on what businesses have been doing and will do now, given that we appear to be moving towards a low emissions economy. So we're joined in the studio here, or we're joined in the Canberra studio by Dave Sagg. He's the founder of Carbon Planet, which is a company advising businesses on dealing with climate change, and he's there in Canberra. Dave Sagg, good morning.
Good morning, Virginia.
And Kane Thornton is with us here in the studio. He's the Director of Strategy and Operations for the Clean Energy Council. Kane, good morning to you.
Good morning, Virginia.
Kane, look, I'm just going to start with you because let's try and, get through the sort of like the oppositional, position that this argument or this issue seems to be locked in for quite some time. If this is going to be the new reality, why don't you just quickly summarise for us what businesses so far around the country have already factored in, what they assume to be true and so, what they see as a business opportunity and what they've done about it so far?
Yeah, sure. Look, I think it's worth starting with putting some facts on the table. It's been over a decade now during which governments have been talking about introducing a price on carbon. This isn't a new issue, and effectively the package that we saw announced yesterday is very similar to that presented previously by both Kevin Rudd and also John Howard quite a number of years ago. So I think businesses known that a price on carbon has been inevitable, and therefore I think there's certainly been some progress made by different sectors of the economy to prepare for that price on carbon. Certainly in the renewable energy sector, we know there's a lot of companies who have got projects that are well developed. We've got a lot of capacity, a lot of potential for renewable energy in Australia, and those companies are really raring to go. They just need the policy certainty to make those projects commercial. Dave
Sagg, I just quickly want to draw you in now, if I can as well. I mean, this is your bread and butter. This is the business that you work in day by day. How much of an accepted reality is a price on carbon for the businesses you deal with? And can you give us a sense of what kind of range of businesses we're talking about here?
Well, I mean, business has known for a very long time that a price on carbon is coming, and so it's been fantastic yesterday to see the detail actually emerge. The businesses we've dealt with over the last 11 years have ranged from everything, I always say, everything from airports to zoos. Every business ultimately is somehow responsible for emitting carbon emissions. So the crucial thing, as was stressed yesterday, the crucial thing is to decouple our society from this harmful carbon dioxide pollution. And every business has a part to play there, and every business, I think, can find opportunity there as well.
But to both of you, I guess, all of this is well and good, but you have an opposition that has pledged to rescind the tax, to undo it. That may even include the compensation packages that accompany. In fact, they've said it will. The polls suggest that they may well have every opportunity to rescind the tax. So how does business respond to that? Does this undermine the certainty that you're talking about, the fact that they're raring to go, for instance?
Look, I don't believe it will undermine that certainty for a few reasons. Firstly, I think this is a fairly complicated economic reform. It'll be far-reaching. It obviously has implications for our tax system. And I think it'll be very difficult to actually unwind this package once it is legislated. Very difficult, if you like, to sort of unscramble the egg. I think the other thing is that once this package is put in place, we will see a lot of business investment flow. And I think that those business investors will make it very clear to subsequent governments that undoing that reform and effectively stranding those investments is not a sensible thing for any government to do.
Dave Sagg, would you agree with that?
Well, business is business traditionally, and especially entrepreneurial business, is forward-looking. It's not backward-facing and static as unfortunately, as the opposition is attempting to be. Looking forward, as the price on carbon increases, many more businesses, I think, will actually seize that as an opportunity to embrace energy efficiency and to embrace different ways of harnessing the resources that they actually have to be more efficient. And all businesses want to be more efficient.
Do they see generally this issue as threat or opportunity, Dave Zag?
Most businesses I deal with see this as an opportunity and have just been essentially counting the days until they have some sort of certainty that they can then make strategic investment decisions based on.
An opportunity to actually make money? I mean, do they believe that they can improve their bottom line in a low carbon environment? Is that a possibility?
Well, I mean, consider the average household, for example, wastes approximately $1,000 worth of food a year, and yet the impost on the average household is likely to be around $500 a year. So there's already opportunities just in efficiency in the domestic household scene for anyone to save money.
The government's spoken a lot about investment in renewable energies, and this is obviously to try to create and give impetus to a new sector. In your opinion, Kane Thornton, I might ask you, how much support is required and for how long? I mean, at what point is it time for the government just to back out and say, you're on your own now?
Yeah, look, I think firstly it's worth noting that this isn't a new sector. It's a sector that's been around for decades in some cases. We've certainly got a long history of hydropower in Australia. We've, over the last decade, established a lot of wind generation technology and more recently solar power. And what we see across each of those technologies is the cost of them. As we've deployed more of those technologies, the cost has come down considerably. Solar power, as an example, almost halved in price last year.
So do they need the money then?
Look, so the answer is yes, they do need some level of support. We still don't have a level playing field across the energy technologies in Australia. So they do need some support, but we're talking years rather than decades of support. And certainly with the package that was announced, we think each of those technologies can continue to come down in cost, and therefore it's inevitable at some point in time in years to come that they will be cost competitive, and at that point they'll be free to compete without the need for any further support.
But Dave Zag was just talking about waste, albeit in the domestic setting, but all businesses are concerned with that as well. But when we raise the issue of waste, the Productivity Commission has always pointed that out already when it comes to public money being invested in renewables, and it sees it as an inefficient way of using that money. Surely, if we're to follow that line of entrepreneurial activity, we just wait for the market to get off its butt and to come up with these technologies themselves rather than wasting taxpayers' funds on it.
Well, Virginia, if you consider that 80% of the emissions growth worldwide is going to be in the developing world, Australia has an incredible opportunity right now to develop the new clean technologies that we can then export to the developing world in order to enable them to achieve economic growth without harmful carbon pollution. So if we can decouple our energy supply from pollution here, then we can export that technology elsewhere, and Australia can be in a fantastic position to be a clean energy superpower.
Kane Thornton,
in our region, where we're a stable, liberal Western democracy, already well known for exporting our energy supplies, so we're a trusted energy partner in the region. I think this investment now, look at it as a Kickstarter really to seed the kind of technologies that could literally transform the world.
Kane, can I get you to quickly respond to that? We'll need to wrap up soon.
Yeah, look, I think it really all depends on the time horizon during which you look at this issue. Investments in the energy sector have a life of 15, 20, 30 years sometimes. So in the short term, there may be cheaper ways to achieve emission reductions, but in the longer term, there's no doubt you need to take action in the energy sector, and renewable energy needs to be a part of that.
Our time was really on the wing this morning. I apologise. Kane Thornton, I'm glad you joined us. Thanks so much. And Dave Zag, thanks to you as well. Thank you both.
Thank you very much for having us.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Vanessa O'Hanlon.